That dinosaur almost spilled my Mountain Dew. So Jurassic Park, one of my all-time favorite movies, was re-released on 3D to maybe make a few more bucks, but that's okay because Jurassic Park is one of those movies where when it comes back into the theaters, you're just happy you can see it again on the big screen. Now, quick backstory, I remember seeing this movie 20 years ago in 1993. I was a young boy. I went there. Why does like that sound? It's just, well, you don't start a story out. I was a young boy. I remember going to the theater with my family. We all sat there and watched it, and I was a little too young to appreciate it at the time. I remember when the Velociraptors came into the kitchen. For some odd reason, I got whiny and tired or something, and we all left the theater because I was a whiny little brat kid. And I kind of regret that decision. That's one of the biggest regrets of my life, and that's sad to say. I think my whole family hated me at the time for it too. So what is Jurassic Park about? Well, you know what? I'm going to explain the summary and my plot synopsis of Jurassic Park a little bit differently than I think most people would. You have a rich old man who's behind the whole concept of Jurassic Park. You know, he kind of has a god complex issue. He has 2 grandchildren that he keeps putting in danger throughout the movie, and he really doesn't give a shit about them. He's like, they're out there with a T-Rex. Send that one guy with a shotgun. Yeah, just go out there, do it. I don't care. Can we turn the power back on? And in order for his investors and backers, insurance companies to really go along with his plan, he has to get the backing of a couple scientific people of the community. So he gets a couple paleontologists, archaeologists. The people who dig up dinosaur bones. What is the name of that? Archaeologists? That doesn't sound right. Paleontologist? Botanist? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. He gets Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, and some hot blonde chick. They all come to the park, and due to human error and greed, because one guy wants to steal some dino DNA for a couple $1 million, and he puts him in a shaving cream can, all hell breaks loose. Dinosaurs are attacking. People are in danger. And that's Jurassic Park. Now, this movie is directed by Steven Spielberg, and this is pretty much the perfect director you could have ever gotten to direct a movie like this because it has so many different elements and genres going on in it. You know, at points it's a horror film, at other points it's an action-adventure movie with a little bit of human drama in it. And the characters in this movie, you know, they all come across as learning something by the end of the movie. I guess technically Jeff Goldblum doesn't really learn anything, but Jeff Goldblum, by the way, we're going to talk more about him in a minute, but I'm just going to say Goldblum is a badass. Now listen, I'm only 25 years old, but when I went back and watched this movie in the theater, I came to the conclusion that they just don't make him like they used to. When I went back and watched Jurassic Park, I noticed that they took their time, you know? Yeah, there's an action scene in the opening shot, but you don't see the dinosaurs until like 30 or 40 minutes into the movie. They take their time, they pace the movie out, you really get to know the characters before we dive into the action. There's an interesting storyline, and things are explained. You know, nowadays when you watch a movie, you know, the action star just ends up from point A to point B with no explanation in the middle. But quality movies like Jurassic Park explain how things happen from point A to B. They explain what's going on the screen. They don't just have random bullshit happening for no apparent reason. What you're doing is rape of the natural world. You packaged it, you patented it, and you sold it. You sold it. And that's my Jeff Goldblum impression. Anyway, Jeff Goldblum in this movie is the comedic relief the entire movie. And something about Jeff Goldblum I've always found hilarious. Just his acting style, because he always puts ums in the middle of his words, and the way he phrases things is just odd. Like, here's how Jeff Goldblum talks. Excuse me, you are going to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour. Now, one of the most impressive things about Jurassic Park is the technology that was used to make this film. I mean, this film was made in like 1992, came out in 1993, and this movie literally looks like it still holds up today. The CGI in this movie still looks better, if not comparable to what you're getting today. And by the way, a quick little tidbit for you guys. If you guys ever see part of a dinosaur in Jurassic Park, that's usually an animatronic, which is non-CGI, but if you guys ever see the full body, that's a CGI shot. But back in 1992, they didn't quite have the computer technology that we have today, so they were really trying to limit the use of CGI only when they had to do it, and I think that makes for a better movie. Rather than rely on completely CGI, they used it when it was a necessity. I mean, that shot where the T-Rex busts through the electric fence and he's going to bite down on the Ford Explorer with the 2 little whiny kids on it, and the one girl just keeps shining a flashlight for no apparent reason. I mean, looking at something like that today, you would never guess that's 20 years old. I mean, it still holds up by today's standards. If not, I mean, honestly, I think it's better looking than what we're getting today in movies. Now, is the 3D effect in this movie going to make the dinosaurs pop out of the screen and start eating cars in front of you, and there's going to be blood splatter and rain right there in front of your face? Well, no, because it really wasn't filmed with that gimmick in mind, you know, like some movies might be nowadays with the pre-planned notion of going into 3D. Because what this post-conversion 3D does is it just adds a little more depth to a movie. You know, it kind of creates an environment that you've never seen before, and it honestly made me a little bit more immersed into the movie and the story. You know, some scenes that really stand out is when the helicopter is first entering the island, and you can see the helicopter over the ocean. It really felt like that helicopter was just flying in front of the movie theater screen. Another scene that was really good in the movie is when you have the T-Rex chasing after the Jeep and Jeff Goldblum in the back seat. I mean, with the re-release of Jurassic Park in 3D and the re-release of Titanic in 3D, it just shows that the technology of 3D can be put to good use if it's done correctly and if they take their time in doing it. So anyway, overall, I think I'm going to give Jurassic Park with the 3D an A+. It definitely is a worthwhile 3D movie. If you're a fan of the movie, I think you should go back and revisit it in 3D. It's like seeing it for the first time again. Highly recommend it. So anyway, here's my question to you guys. What is your favorite Steven Spielberg film, and explain why? What does that movie mean to you? Why is that your favorite movie of all time? I'm going to go with Jurassic Park just because it's fun and adventurous, and catch me if you can. Anyway, let me know what yours is down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.